Hey everyone, Jonathan Blackwood here, editorial director of Commercial Integrator. Today we are very lucky to be joined by Brian McClimans of Peerless-AV. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks a lot, Jonathan.
Thanks for coming. We're talking all about digital signage and video walls this month. And I wanted to have you on because I wanted to ask right off the bat. We've talked a lot about LED and LCD video walls. We've been talking about it for quite some time, but there's still some confusion about the differences and the benefits of one over the other. So, what are the benefits of direct view LED video walls that LCD video walls don't offer?
Well, obviously, everybody will talk about the seamlessness of direct view LED over LCD as one of the biggest benefits that you can find. But there's a lot more involved than just that. The closeness to the wall, the scale and scope of the wall that you can do. Most LCD video walls were just a flat 16 by 9 wall. Hardly ever, maybe you saw somebody turn a display on its side and do a video wall that was taller than it was wide. With direct view LED, not only can you do very odd resolution shapes, you can do ribbons, you can do stair step, you can do curve, concave, convex, you can hang them from the ceiling. There's just a lot more that you can do to, as we call, paint the wall with direct view LED.
What are the markets and applications that make the most sense for direct view LED?
So it's interesting is when we first started getting involved in doing direct view LED, we thought that the biggest market was going to be to replace large format projectors in corporate boardrooms. As we know, for the past year, nobody's been in corporate boardrooms, and yet our business went up over 200% last year, and we're predicting it to go up over 400% this year. And that's happened during a down economy. And the reason that we're seeing growth is we're seeing areas like casinos, sports books. We're seeing areas like house of worship, as well as the airports as being areas where we're putting in a lot of direct view LED, as well as auto dealerships. So anywhere that there might be somebody walking in and you want to give them an experience with video, this is where we're seeing a lot of applications, and they're going out. We're involved in, I think, 3 installs just today, right now, doing direct view LED across the country and in Canada.
Well, I know integrators are going to be very happy to hear that there's so much demand for direct view LED systems. I also know that Peerless AV offers a seamless direct view LED video wall program and mounting system. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we're really excited about this program because it actually helps us assist the integrators in making sure that the wall that they're getting involved in, whether they're just selling it or whether they're installing it, Peerless can assist them at whatever level they need us. So the seamless program is not only designed for us to supply the mounting structure, we can get involved in making sure that the wall construction for the mount is adequate. We'll get involved with hiring out a PE engineer to make sure that that wall is capable of holding the weight. We can hire installation across the country to do that install for that integrator. So maybe it's an integrator in the East Coast that has a project in the West Coast, but doesn't have anybody that they know that can do that install. We can hire that installation portion of it out. We'll also get involved in doing project management. And project management is one that we are involved in about 80% of the time when we do direct view LED. And what's involved in that is we make sure that we have everything involved, from the display to the wall to being on site during that installation, to make sure that the install goes up correctly. So say the integrator hires out an installer or they do it themselves, we're there to consult on the proper methods to attach that mount to a particular wall. Because one thing that we know is 100% assurity is what is specified at the time of the bid will not be exactly what comes when you're on site doing that install. In every case we've been involved in, there's been changes and there's been things that are not exactly as were planned. And we need to make sure that the mount still can function the way that they need it to function and be installed correctly. Because the worst thing that can happen is an installer puts that wall up and gets the job done, walks away, and then the customer comes in and goes, well, what about that seam? Or, what about this? This isn't right. It's shifted a little bit. You've got to make sure on direct VLED that you get it installed correctly the first time so that it looks perfect day one as it does at the end of life of this, which could be 10 years from now. And what if the integrator is doing the service of this over the life of that project? They need to be able to take those modules in and out. And if the installer squeezed the panels so that the LED modules cannot come out, they're going to end up having trouble with actually servicing that over the life of the project. These are things that we can give tips and tricks during the consulting phase of the install. And so that's kind of our seamless approach. We want to make sure that the install is done correct, seamlessly, not just being a play on the words for the video, but seamlessly on the installation as well. And it's something that I can't stress enough to integrators and installers. Do not overemphasize that, the mount is a critical aspect of this installation. It is not a just a portion of it, like say the LCD video wall mounts where we could adjust them and tweak them. The mount is got to be very well thought through up front, because the displays do not hang themselves. The mount is so crucial to that whole aspect of the install that you've got to make sure that you get it done right and with the right supplier of the mount.
Well, there's certainly a ton that Peerless-AV experience and resources that you guys can provide, not only just the products to integrators. If anyone in our audience wants to learn more about Peerless-AV and what they can provide, how can they best get in touch, or how can they best find out more about the company?
They can reach out to their regional sales managers or channel managers that we have. We have over 16 of them out in the country. Or if they don't know them, they can reach out to us on our website at peerless-av.com. We have a sales contact sheet there that gives them their contact locally, or they could reach out to myself.
Awesome. Well, Brian McClimans of Peerless-AV, thank you so much for joining us today for these 3 questions.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me.